27th Mr. Irrelevant 2022, Brock Purdy, a quarterback from Iowa State. Go Niners!
The 49ers went 13-4 heading into the first round of the playoffs. They started 3 different quarterbacks this season, and each one has played better than the last. Lance, Garoppolo, and now Purdy. If each QB plays better, why not Nancy Kerrigan Brock Purdy and put in his backup, aka the next Joe Montana? Oh, that's Josh Johnson. Never mind. Somehow, the man picked with the very last selection of the 2022 draft has been the best rookie of them all. So who is Brock Purdy? How does Mr. Irrelevant, aka the last pick in the draft, aka I don't make enough money to afford cool clothes when I show up to a football game, walk into the playoffs and put up a better stat line than Joe Montana, become the first rookie QB with 4 total touchdowns in a playoff game? What's made him so good? Is he the long-term solution, or is he just a product of Kyle Shanahan's offensive machine? Is a guy this clutch, this early, actually a sociopath? I don't know, but we're going balls deep into Brock Purdy. Please subscribe to this YouTube channel, and today's episode is sponsored by Manscaped.com/goodsports. And oh my God, Manscaped finally created a full throttle beard trimmer. I am thrilled to introduce the Beard Hedger Pro Kit. They did 2 things with this trimmer that I love. 1, just like the lawnmower, it's waterproof, so I can trim my beard in the shower now, eliminating my mess of beard hair and trimmings around my sink. And 2, it has a zoom wheel to adjust to 20 different hair trimming lengths. If you have used beard trimmers before, typically you have to pop on and off different guard lengths to trim your beard. Being able to adjust that without changing guards is just great design. I'm not being hyperbolic. It is a perfect beard trimmer, and the Hedger Pro Kit also comes with beard shampoo, conditioner, and beard oil to give you everything you need for perfect beard maintenance and to nourish and grow your precious immaculate beard. So use my link below or go to manscaped.com/goodsports for 20% off and free shipping for the best dang beard trimmer around. Brock Purdy comes from Queen Creek, Arizona, and played high school ball for the Perry Pumas, eventually becoming a 3-star prospect and earning the Gatorade Football Player of the Year in 2017. Despite offers from Boise State, Illinois, and Texas A&M, Purdy landed with the Iowa State Cyclones and didn't waste any time rising up the depth chart to become the starter as a true freshman. Purdy's best year statistically came as a sophomore in 2019 when he threw 27 touchdowns and racked up nearly 4,000 yards in 13 games for the Clones. In his final 2 seasons, he was named All First Team Big 12, Big Cock Brock, and he got a Fiesta Bowl win over Oregon and captured just about every school record in Iowa State history. So he sounds like a draftable quarterback, right? Right? Well, barely. What do Brock Purdy and Chad Kelly have in common? No, Brock Purdy was never so blotto on Halloween that he entered the wrong home and was eventually chased out by the owners with a vacuum cleaner. But they were both selected with the final pick in the NFL draft. And they both had breakout seasons in 2022. Chad Kelly just did it for the Toronto Argonauts. Purdy was the last player and the last quarterback taken in an illustrious QB draft that included Kenny Pickett, Malik Willis, Matt Corral, Sam Howell, fellow playoff starters Skylar Thompson, Bailey Zappi, and who could forget Steelers legend Chris Olajuwon. Now, Brock Purdy has more wins, touchdowns, and yards than those other rookie quarterbacks combined. Alright, that's not true, but it sounds like it could be. And that's almost more telling than the actual truth. If you take Pickett out of the mix, it is true. I think. Again, I was too lazy to check. In reality, though, Purdy has the second most wins of that group behind just Kenny Pickett, who started 7 more games than Mr. Irrelevant. And Pickett is someone Steelers fans are very optimistic about. And he didn't have a single game this season with more than 1 passing touchdown, nor did he have any games with a passer rating over 100. Purdy, though, has yet to start a game and not throw at least 2 touchdowns, and he's had only a passer rating below 100 in 2 of his first 7 games. He's miles ahead of the top drafted QB from this season. After a brief appearance in relief of Jimmy Garoppolo against the Chiefs that included Brock Purdy's first NFL interception, he took over for reals when the handsome one was taken from us against the Dolphins. Which is why the Dolphins were docked their first-round draft pick this year. Injuring the sexiest QB in the league is a sin not even God can forgive. It is flat out weird, though, that Garoppolo's backup is named Purdy, right? It would be like if Patrick Mahomes' backup was named Ketchup, if Lamar Jackson's backup was named Speed, if Tom Brady's backup was named Broken Home, if Kenny Pickett's backup was named Manicure, if Deshaun Watson's backup was named Broken Criminal Justice System. You want me to keep going? No, you get it. Well, when Purdy entered the game against Miami, the 49ers were trailing 7-3. Almost immediately, though, Purdy answered with his first NFL touchdown pass to Kyle Juszczyk. That's key because you cannot play quarterback for Kyle Shanahan unless you can throw TDs to a fullback. On the second to last play of the half, he threw another to Christian McCaffrey. The Niners ended up winning that game by 16 points. Even though they got the win, that game almost signaled the end for the 49ers. This was a team that had Super Bowl potential, nearly getting there a few months earlier, but seemed like they'd be left for dead with a third-string rookie quarterback. And that specific scenario would be true about 99.9% of the time. A massive credit to Kyle Shanahan and DeMeco Ryans as somehow the Niners got better. A week later, in a showdown with another late-round draft pick, Purdy was ultra efficient against Tom Brady and the Buccaneers, tossing another pair of tutties and cruising to a 28-point win. Yes, Brock Purdy made sure that Kyle Shanahan was not blowing another fucking lead to Tom Brady, and Purdy handed Brady his first loss to a rookie QB in nearly a decade. Well, I mean, technically, Kenny Pickett got the win against the Bucs this season, but Trubisky finished that game. Since then, we have been waiting for a letdown game from Purdy, and it has yet to happen. I personally would have bet my mortgage on it happening, even if the Niners still won that game. I expected to see a game that told us if Jimmy G got healthy in the postseason, they'd definitely switch back to him. Instead, Purdy has thrown at least 2 touchdowns in each of his 7 appearances since the Garoppolo injury, and probably had his best game in the season finale against Arizona until he had an even better game in the playoffs. In a show of class and respect for his elders, Purdy allowed himself to be sacked twice by J.J. Watt in the final game of his career. Purdy just gets it. He just gets it. And maybe the most valuable thing that Purdy has given the 49ers is that he's reignited George Kittle as a receiver. Kittle has always been invaluable in Kyle Shanahan's run scheme, but we're seeing him break out as a pass catcher in ways we haven't seen since 2019. In the last 4 regular season games with Purdy at QB, Kittle caught 7 touchdowns, becoming the ultimate red zone threat and stretching the field like Jimmy G stretches the... never mind. Purdy entering the lineup also coincided with Christian McCaffrey hitting his stride as a receiving threat out of the backfield, playing and arguably his best ball since 2019, like Kittle, when he was a first-team All-Pro. Just like the rest of the world, Christian McCaffrey was much better before 2020. Who else was great in 2019 that Purdy can revive? Oh, no, I don't even think he could save Michael Thomas at this point. 23-year-old Brock Purdy is looking to become the 10th backup defined as quarterbacks who didn't start to begin the season to win the Super Bowl, joining names like Kurt Warner, Roger Staubach, Terry Bradshaw, Tom Brady, Jim Plunkett, Trent Dilfer, Jeff Hostetler, Doug Williams, and of course Nick Foles. Out of all of those guys, Purdy would make the unlikeliest champion since Kurt Warner, who just minutes before the big game was shoplifting from grocery stores. I think that's how that story went, right? This all begs the important question, is Brock Purdy the offensive rookie of the year in the NFL? Well, I think he is, and I also think he's the favorite to win Super Bowl MVP in the NFC. First though, can we take a look at his competitors this year? And to be honest, one of the big reasons I think Purdy is Offensive Rookie of the Year is that there aren't very many good offensive rookies. And that shouldn't be all that surprising considering that the top 5 picks of the NFL draft were all defensive players. Had Breece Hall not been injured, I think he would have won the award and also had the Jets in the playoffs. Now, you can basically throw out all of the quarterbacks, right? Kenny Pickett did catch on at the end of the year and compile the winning record, but he did not put up impressive numbers whatsoever. Russell Wilson has 5 more bathrooms than Pickett had touchdown passes, okay? Purdy exclusively won games, and he's got some impressive numbers to show for it, including his 8.1 yards per attempt, which is tied for second best in the league with the guy by the name of, Patrick Mahomes, the man Purdy will beat in the Super Bowl. Number 1, though, is Tua, by the way. Tua is number 1. Tua won. Now, I think there are a few wide receivers you can make a case for as Rookie of the Year, specifically both of the Ohio State receivers, Chris Olave and Garrett Wilson, both of whom eclipsed 1,000 yards and pretty bad offenses with quarterbacks like Andy Dalton, Zach Wilson, and Joe Flacco. So you get the point. That shit is hard to do. But neither of those guys have put up numbers like some of the recent Rookie of the Year wide receivers like Jamar Chase and Odell Beckham Jr. And Wilson and Olave each only had 4 touchdowns this season. And my interpretation of the award goes beyond the raw numbers. Okay, I think these players should elevate their teams in a way that you may or may not be able to calculate. And I think that's why Kenneth Walker is a very strong candidate as well. He's one of the big reasons that Seattle overperformed expectations this year, along with fellow rookies Charles Cross and Tariq Woolen. I like to include some narrative to back up the awards. I don't want MVP or Rookie of the Year or anything else to be reduced to a Best Stats award. I don't think you can argue that any of the other rookies has had an impact on their team like Brock Purdy. You can make a case that the 49ers are the best team in the NFL. Sure. Since they lost to the Chiefs to fall 3-4, the Niners have reeled off 10 straight wins, 11 with the playoffs, and the only true nail-biter was that overtime win against the Raiders when Purdy was lights out late in that game, essentially leading 2 game-winning drives because Robbie Gould missed at the end of regulation. Keep in mind, it's not like Purdy was getting a bunch of important practice reps through the offseason and preseason. His role was just to hang out and watch Trey Lance and Jimmy G. So him coming in and hitting the ground running is impressive. And of course, the elephant in the room with this conversation is Kyle Shanahan. Kyle Shanahan is a cheat code for quarterbacks. Anyone can play quarterback for Kyle Shanahan. No one should ever get praise for their play on the field because they're just a prosthetic extension of Kyle Shanahan's brilliant mind. Well, riddle me this, Batman. We've gotten a few looks at the guy the 49ers moved up to take 3rd overall in 2021. And I can say very confidently that Brock Purdy looked a hell of a lot better than Trey Lance. Obviously factoring in a very limited sample size for Trey. But I think it's too reductive to say that Shanahan deserves every ounce of credit for whatever a 49ers quarterback does on the field. Yes, it is a very QB-friendly system. but we didn't see Nick Mullins or CJ Beathard or even Jimmy G reach this level of efficiency and success in this offense, especially that quickly. In the 49ers' 2 playoff wins back in 2019, Jimmy Garoppolo attempted just 27 passes. In the wildcard game against Seattle, Shanahan had a longer leash for Purdy, allowing him to drop back and throw 30 times in the victory. And that was after Purdy started just 10 for 20 passing. Think about this. Tom Brady, when he won his first Super Bowl with the Patriots, threw 1 touchdown pass that entire postseason. Brady won a Super Bowl and 5 postseason games without ever throwing more than 1 TD pass. What Purdy is doing is fucking unprecedented. It is unprecedented. He's fucking good. The 49ers are now 14-4, winners of 11 straight, and heading into the divisional round of the playoffs because of Brock Purdy, not in spite of him. And they're going to go even further with Mr. We know what Brock bottom is, but we have no idea what Brock's ceiling is. Thanks for watching That's Good Sports here on YouTube. Please subscribe here for more NFL deep dives, for NFL news updates, for NFL BS. Click the video on the screen if you want to see the last episode of Balls Deep. Make sure you come back this weekend for my live streams during the playoffs.